Hello and welcome to Mind on the Match. This is our football rewind show. And today we're going to be looking back at our Super Six predictions and how we got on. We'll also be looking back at the Premier League games and other teams that surprised us in the other leagues. And we'll also see how we got on at fantasy football. So we'll start with Super Six. Marcus is looking forward to this bit.
Nope.
Now, I'll let the side down a bit because I didn't actually put mine on, which you can see James worked to.
He had multiple reminders.
I did.
You even sent it for a second time, didn't you?
Yeah, so I hold my hands up. I just completely forgot. But I've got my predictions from last week. So we'll start with West Ham Newcastle. If I'm right, we had a correct score, didn't we, James, in this?
It's a 5-pointer for me, yeah.
5-pointer it is, yeah.
I said 2-0 Newcastle. I said West Ham were going to be shy.
You did. Yeah.
They were shy.
They were,
Wilson, question not to play by Marcus. Played. Got a goal.
He's in my team, my fantasy
And obviously,
team.
Super Jeff Hendrick got a goal, didn't
He did. Good goal,
So,
weren't it?
Yeah, good goal.
Great goal into top corner.
5 points for me, though. What about you, Shebby?
Fair not to speak. Yeah, no.
Desmond, didn't
I had a 2-2. Now, I'm going to put this down to the unrest at West Ham. I didn't want to let the podcast down and then change the result, so I stuck with my guns. I knew what were coming, but I thought, I'll leave it as it is. But yeah, no, I had an absolute shocker on that one. I thought West Ham might have had a little bit, but they had far from anything. It was a dreadful game for them.
I fear for them, West Ham.
Yeah.
I had them relegated. You had them relegated as well, didn't you, James, at predictions?
Yeah.
I do fear for them. I think it's they look crap, didn't they?
I think if they can get past this sort of they're not going to get past it, are they? That's the thing. Owners aren't selling up, are they? So
no.
They need to sort of maybe on the pitch get past it a bit. I know Souness had a bit of a go at Noble, didn't he, for calling out. Well,
yeah,
he didn't really. He did call him out, but he didn't directly call him out.
I don't think he's got any right to have a go.
No.
Mark Noble's been a one-club man for, 18 years, something like that?
Yeah.
And he's rightly angry now after all the controversy that's gone on with that club to then let a prospect like Grady Diangana go, who obviously West Ham used to be known for the players that they brought through. Someone like Frank Lampard came through their academy once ago. But recently there's been nothing really to show of it. And, finally a prospect's come through and they've let him go.
Yeah, they're going to have to sort themselves out ASAP. I don't think they've got the best of games coming either.
No.
They could be in big trouble early doors if they don't.
They've got horrible games coming.
What was your prediction for that game, Dom?
I went with 3-1 to Newcastle.
So just a correct result then. Yeah.
So I get 2 points. So
it's not bad.
Yeah, after the first game, we've got 5 for James, 2 for me, and Marcus is still to get off the mark yet.
It's going to become a running theme in this, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be like Eurovision, isn't it? The UK Eurovision. So, next game, Crystal Palace Southampton. None of us got this right.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a shocker. I went for a draw, which were the best out of the 3.
Yeah.
And you two went for away wins.
Yeah. That shocked me, did that, actually. Southampton looked a bit, I don't know, they struggled a little bit.
Yeah,
lacklustre. Palace were quite good. I think they had less chances. Obviously took it, and I was expecting Southampton to do really well there, and obviously didn't. So yeah, I went 3-1, and it was obviously 1-0.
No, I was surprised with that because with someone like Danny Ings in there, and towards the back end of last season, they were extremely good compared to what they were previous. So you couple that with the fact that Palace had lost a ridiculous amount of games in this year, really. They plummeted down the league after the turn of the year. I don't think really anyone would have expected such a professional performance really from Palace. Like you say, they weren't really in any trouble at any point. Obviously, there'll have been a chance here and there, but a shout out to the defence because again, it was a bit of a make-up defence in that as well. With obviously Tyreek Mitchell having to come in ahead of Nathan Ferguson and Patrick Van Aanholt. So obviously, he wasn't the most experienced, but like I say, credit where it's due. They've pulled off a result there, and hopefully they can crack on with it and continue this season.
As well, the goal that won it, what a goal from Zaha.
Yeah,
Zaha doing Zaha bits, weren't it?
Oh, yeah. I'd have kept hold of him for that long, and it made me look a tip from saying the other week that I don't think his head's in it.
It was because they've put such a massive price tag on him that it's just not worth that money, and it's like nobody even bothers. And nobody questions the price tag, do they? It's like, well, it's fair enough. But he's not
I think he just give up now, hasn't
he? Yeah, I think Lad's probably at this point now. He's probably happy to just stay at the club he's been at for so long, isn't he?
Yeah, it could be a bit of that. I think it's a bit of everything. So next game is Bournemouth Blackburn. Got to start with you, aren't we, Marcus? I think
we do. Again, obviously, I got them at goals. Blackburn were going to score right. I just didn't counter in the fact that our defence is absolutely dreadful. The goals, though, we conceded, they were unstoppable. They were mistakes, but unstoppable. The keeper, obviously a new keeper that we'd signed, he had a cracking game, and that to me says everything compared to the fact that we conceded 3 goals. Again, the goals we scored, not the greatest, not the worst. It was just a classic opening game tussle between two teams. But yeah, 3 goals for Bournemouth. I didn't factor that in. And once again, I've come back home with a 0 point.
Yeah, I have as well. Stupidly thought you were going to draw. So, but saying that, you were unlucky in the end, weren't you? 3-2, I suppose. But goalkeeper kept the score down by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
And again, James is. I mean, if you're listening, you won't be able to see, but he's looking smug at the bottom there. Because he's got another bloody 2 points.
Yeah, it's another 2, but I can't be too smug because I did put down a 4-0 win to Bournemouth. I went for what I thought happened. I just didn't expect. I don't know enough about Blackburn's sort of attacking promise really, so I didn't factor in 2 goals for Blackburn, but I got the result correct just about. So yeah, another 2 for me.
Yeah, another 2 for you. Good start for Tyndall as well in charge. We were a bit wary, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Huddersfield Norwich then. I can't even remember what that one finished.
It was a
1-0 Norwich. Again.
Oh, Marcus, you've. Oh no, they're gone.
I finally got some points.
That's his only points.
I finally got some points.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it was a very, very scrappy game. To say that it's a team that were finishing in the bottom half of the Championship to a team that were in the Premier League last year, I were expecting a bit more from Norwich. And especially if you saw the lineup that they had, it was a very, very high caliber lineup for a Championship game. And if it weren't for, like I say, an 80th minute strike by the youngster Adam Ider, it'd have been 0-0. But
I think that's just first game vibes, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Norwich are the better team, aren't they? But just like first game, getting into the groove of things again.
Yeah, they always seem to find a way in that division, don't they, Norwich?
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking we all said 2-0?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, we all went same on that one.
He's not.
We're not.
I went 1-0, so I've only got 2 points.
No,
you went
finished
2-0. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it saying green. I'm thinking I got it.
Christ, no wonder he's got 2 points.
And then I've been looking forward to this next one. QPR Forest.
Bet you have.
I got a 5-pointer on that one. Very pleased. And
oh no, how?
0 point for the other two.
I recall me and Marcus being a bit shocked by the 2-0 prediction.
You were. You were a bit doubtful.
I said 1-1, so weren't a bad prediction, but I didn't expect a QPR 2-0 win.
And Marcus, you went for
the complete opposite. I went for a 1-0
Boris win. Yeah.
Then I was saying, obviously, even in the Championship predictions, that I were a bit worried for QPR, but if that's anything to go by, there's no worries to be had whatsoever. Yeah, a team like Forest 2-0 convincingly on opening day. Like I say, fair dues to them. Fair dues to them indeed.
Yeah, it could be a bit of an hangover for Forest, couldn't it, after that end to last season?
Yeah, dreadful end.
You said that, didn't you, Dom? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Championship. It could be one that I get right. Derby Reading.
Another shock.
Surely not many got this one right anywhere. Derby Reading, but to be fair, Marcus, you went 1-1.
I did. I did. Again, I didn't think that Derby would be up to much. I didn't expect that they wouldn't be up to it that much by losing 2-0. But like I say, again, another team, Reading, I had them to go down, didn't I?
Yeah.
Predictions, and once again, it's going to prove that I have no knowledge whatsoever. They've gone and walked them off the park, really, of Reading in that game.
Got a lot of it. They've got a lot of players out, haven't they, Derby? I think they've got a fair few injuries.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to do. Overall, then, Marcus, you.
You see, I believe the fact that Dom didn't join the league means that he gets a DNF for this week.
On the league table, it's a 0.
Exactly.
Simple as.
On the actual league, it's a 0. But
It's a 0.
I didn't even submit to me. If it weren't even a case I didn't just join the league, I didn't submit.
Oh, it definitely counts as a 0 then.
But technically,
I'll take a P2 for the week. I'll take a P2.
So I'm storming out ahead then.
Yeah.
technically, I got 5, 7, 9 points, me.
So I got the 9 as well, but it's a 0 for you.
Exactly.
So
Starting on -9.
Minus? 0's bad enough.
yeah.
So next week's now.
Yes.
Oh,
Not
dear.
ideal fixtures, we don't think, do they? But what we're thinking with my Super 6 finally loads. So Leeds, Fulham. Two newly promoted teams. We saw Leeds. They can attack, but the defence were a bit
Suspect.
worse for wear, weren't it? Yeah, I think they have got a few out, haven't they, as well,
Yeah,
defensively. But I've gone 3-0 Leeds
Ooh.
to start us off. I know what we were saying just before we started recording. When you go for a 0, it's a bit of a risk, but I've took a few risks, and I've gone for a 3-0 Leeds. Think it'd be comfortable. What do you lads think?
Well, this was a last-minute jobby for me.
Yeah, really.
So everything's a bit sort of impromptu for me, but I've put down a 2-1 Leeds.
Tight game.
Yeah, I think Leeds will win comfortably. I just think Fulham might be able to get a goal. They obviously didn't score against Arsenal, but I think they'll be a bit more up for it this game. I think they'll fancy it. So I think Fulham might nick one. But yeah, I think Leeds will win it. They looked good against Liverpool, didn't they? Going forward. So
going forward, they were class, weren't they? Yeah, really well. What about you, Marcus?
I've gone for a similar from both of you. I've gone for 3-1 to Leeds.
Right.
Like you say, I don't think that the Leeds defence personally has the capability to keep them all out. Especially with a player like Mitrovic. Hopefully he starts this weekend unlike last. But like I say, that Leeds counter and just general attacking play against Liverpool of all teams was something else. So hopefully, like I say, it can carry on and I can finally get shooting myself up the league with 5 points in there.
Well, better than me. I'm on minus. So next one, Middlesbrough, Bournemouth. Bit of a stinker, isn't it? This one to predict. But what have we gone with?
I've gone for another convincing Bournemouth win.
Ooh.
Have you?
Yeah, I've gone for 3-1.
Ooh.
I fancy Bournemouth again. I think they play good football, and I fancy them to get goals. It's just whether or not they'll keep many out. Don't know a lot about Borough, but yeah, 3-1.
Surprising that. I mean, Borough didn't play too bad against Watford opening game of the season. It were only a 1-0 defeat again against a team with the experience of Watford. I've gone for a 1-1 here. Again, I weren't overly impressed with Bournemouth against us. They were very clinical against Rovers. But I think against a team like Middlesbrough, they probably won't have it in them, especially away. So I've gone for an even Stevens in that one.
I've gone for 1-0 Bournemouth. I think, mind you, looking at how Middlesbrough's getting on tonight, I think it could be more than that. But yeah, I think Bournemouth will just nick it. You know what Warnock's like. He tries to be hard to break down, doesn't he? But I just don't see a lot with Middlesbrough this season. Don't see a lot with him. But they did, like you said, Mark, they didn't play too bad, did they? They kicked the season off, didn't they? And on another day, they could have probably got something from that. But yeah, I've gone 1-0 Bournemouth. I think they'll get big. And they've had a tough start, really, haven't they, Middlesbrough? 2 newly promoted teams straight away. So next, Sheffield Wednesday v Watford. A lot of unrest at Sheffield Wednesday, aren't they? Obviously, they're on the points deduction. What do you think, Marcus?
I've gone for the first one of the episode. I've gone for a Desmond.
Right. You like it, Desmond. Yeah, you like it.
Again, I was impressed with Wednesday despite the unrest against a team like Cardiff. 2-0 win away from home on the opening day of the season to kick them off. It was very impressive for me. And like I say, Watford weren't overly impressive against Borough. You know, they got on by a corner goal from Craig Cathcart. But again, I think that, like you say, Borough had it into him about defensive play, whereas I don't think Sheffield Wednesday will do as much. I think it'll be a more open game, entertaining for obviously the neutral. And I think, like I say, it'll come home as a 2-2 draw personally.
Yeah, I think points deduction sometimes it can take the pressure off teams, and it gives them more freedom to play because everybody's expecting to go down, aren't they?
Exactly
anyway?
that.
So they have nothing to lose.
Another one in my predictions, I didn't have them to go down. I thought
You didn't? No, yeah.
They would thrive, and if that's anything to go by, they will do.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, I've just gone for a Watford 2-1 win. Like you said, what a result for Sheffield Wednesday, but I do think Watford's just got it in them in the Championship. They always find a way. And I think they'll go straight back up this season, Watford. So I've gone for a 2-1 win. But as you said, Grace, like I said, there's no pressure Sheffield Wednesday, have they? So they can use it. They can use that mentality this season. But what about you, James?
I've gone 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, I think both teams could win it, to be honest. Which is why I've gone for a 1-1. I don't think I could call it. Like I say, Sheffield Wednesday quite impressive despite everything going on, and Watford again maybe lacked a little bit, even though they won at the weekend. So yeah, I've gone for a simple 1-1.
Yeah, can't really argue with that. I were in between 1-1 and 2-1. Norwich Preston, I've gone Norwich 3-1. Preston, I don't know if they're going to be up there this season as much as they were last. Yeah, I've got a bad feeling. I'm going to quite enjoy it, but yeah, I think they might have a bit of. I don't think they'll be pushing for them playoffs like they were last season. And I just Norwich, another team like Watford, aren't they? I just can't see them not going up this season. Yeah. And I think they'll have too much, especially at home, aren't they? They're known in the Championship at home. They usually. So yeah, I think it'll be comfortable 3-1. I think Preston will get a consolation later on or something.
Yeah. I think it'll be closer than you think. I still think Norwich will win. I've gone 2-1, but I think it'll be a closer game.
Yeah, it could be. It could well be. He's done well, hasn't he, Alex Neil at Preston? But I don't know. I just think they dipped a bit, didn't they, towards the end? And I always think it can easily ride into the next season.
Yeah.
What about you, Marcus?
I think the thing with Preston is they've not dipped into the transfer market yet.
No, they haven't mixed it up, have they?
And with that, like you say, with the dip they had last season, there's a bit of, similar to what you said before, it's a bit of a hangover from last season where they didn't necessarily fail, but, they didn't reach the heights that they maybe could have done. But I've gone for a similar scoreline to you. I've gone for a 2-0 Norwich win. Again, I said it with Preston in the predictions. They don't have the attacking force that they need. They need that goal-scoring player that is going to bag them 15, 20 goals, and I just don't see it at the moment. Like I say, I think it'll be a convincing Norwich victory, that one.
Yeah. Brentford, Huddersfield. Brentford, poor start, weren't it?
It was. Very poor start. Not to take anything away from Birmingham, but for a team like Brentford, that they've got the stars. Obviously, they didn't have Ollie Watkins. Ben Rama was left out. I think David Raya as well was out with an injury, so they call it. So it was a bit of a put-together team compared to last season, but like you say, it wasn't anywhere near what they'd have been wanting. But for the scoreline, I've gone for a Brentford 2-1. I think Huddersfield, again, obviously they did scrape a 1-0 loss against Norwich. Not the greatest, not the worst. But I think away at Brentford, obviously, first game at the new stadium for Brentford, they want to put on a show. I think they will get the victory in that one.
Yeah, I haven't got much to add to that. I've gone 2-0 Brentford, similar reasons. First game at the new ground. I think they are still a strong side, even though they've lost some big players there. But yeah, I think they'll have enough for Huddersfield. Yeah, I don't really rate Huddersfield much this season. How about you, James?
It's a 2-0 for me as well.
Yeah.
Same reasons. I think Brentford not the greatest either at the minute, but I think they'll be comfortable winners against Huddersfield. Like you say, in the new stadium as well. So
strange stadium, that, isn't it? When you look at it,
it's had a lot of stick. But I don't actually mind it, mate. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. It's just a bit odd, isn't it?
It's the colours of the seats.
Yeah,
it looks like almost out of a football manager stadium or something.
Seats are strange, but I actually don't think it's as bad as everyone makes out. To be honest, I've seen a lot worse stadiums, So
true. Yeah, that's true. And I don't think Brentford will care because the amount of publicity it's gotten.
Exactly.
And it says it would probably be quite a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, once fans are back in, you don't sit seats, do you? So
no, that's true. So it won't. Yeah, no, in a strange way, I quite like it, but it is strange. Yeah, it is very strange. Swansea Birmingham. I've gone from what Marcus loves. Desmond gone 2-2. Yeah, I'm a bit wary of that one. That was my biggest one, but I'm a bit like James. We'd forgotten all about these, haven't we, James? So we did it literally before we came on. But I've gone 2-2. I haven't really got much to say about this one, but I just think Birmingham got a good win last week. They'll be confident, won't they, going into it? Swansea have still got some class players. I don't know how they managed to keep hold of like AU and players like that.
No.
So I think they'll, I think they'll both get a couple of goals at the weekend. Don't rate them as much at the back.
Yeah, tough one to call that really, because both won last week, first game of the season, didn't they?
Yeah.
I've gone 2-1. I think both teams have the potential to win it. I think you've probably done what most people do, where they go, both did well, draw, 2 goals each. Because I would tempted by it, but I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be a close game, and I think one of them will nick it. But I think Swansea for me.
Yeah,
So 2-1.
I've gone for the same as you, James. 2-1 Swansea. I think obviously Birmingham were at home, Swansea were away, so maybe more so obviously that Swansea obviously can't really say much about away games, home games at the moment because there is no atmosphere to it.
No.
But again, you look back to last season, Swansea cracking second half of the season. They've kept the main core of that. They've got a few players back in on loan. Obviously, they are missing Brewster and Gallagher, which obviously was a big part of that. But I still think that they've got what it takes, and again, I think they'll be up there at the end of the season, as I said in the predictions. So I think they'll have just a little bit more than Birmingham to give, and they will get the win.
Yeah, I can see it. That were another one. It's tough to call at this point, isn't it? And it's tough to back anything up because we're so early in the season. So hopefully, the longer we go on, we'll be able to have a bit more.
Yeah, that's true.
So with Premier League, then we'll have a gloss over each of the results. We've obviously already talked about West Ham, good win for Newcastle, and Palace Southampton. So we've already got into them. Sheffield United lost at home to Wolves 2-0. Wolves were impressive, weren't they? I think I could look like an idiot.
You could be eating your words.
I said, didn't I? I said that a few times. I thought, I don't know.
I watched that and I thought the exact opposite to you.
Yeah.
Because I thought Wolves would have a cracking season, me, and I thought Sheffield United would do the opposite. Whereas you thought Sheffield United would have another good season, Wolves would struggle, but Sheffield United didn't have the best of restarts, did they? Last season. And I think they'll not struggle. Struggle's not the right word, but I don't think they'll do anywhere near as well as they did last year. I think it showed in that game. Wolves they're just different, aren't they?
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to look like an idiot end of the season because they look class. Wolves. They do everything, don't they? They're so solid as well defensively. But I did think Sheffield United were unlucky not to score in the second half. I thought they played well second half. They just got off to I think Chris Wilder said if it started at 6 minutes past 6, they'd have been all right, weren't it? They just had a horror start. Should Ramsdale have saved it, do you think?
No, I think he should have maybe got an hand to it.
Yeah.
I don't think... I think it's a difficult save. Maybe if his starting positioning's a bit different, but it's a tough one. It looked like an easy save, didn't it? The way it sort of like looped over him, but I think it's a difficult save, that.
I agree. And he made up for it later on. He made some great saves to keep the score down, didn't he? I say Sheffield United had a few chances. Wolves had chances to make it even a bigger margin.
Yeah.
So in the other game yesterday, I've started going back for front. Brighton Chelsea, another goalkeeper. While we're on goalkeeper errors, Kepa again. He's under criticism.
Again, I think that's a bit harsh.
I think it's harsh as well, man.
I don't. Yeah, he could have done better. You know, I'm not saying that you can't say he's done his best. That's that. He maybe could have done better, but if you look at it, he was blindsided by his defenders.
Yeah.
So he didn't see the ball until late, and it was a very, very well placed strike from Trossard. So I think it is a little harsh to say.
I think if that's I don't want to say Nick Pope because I always use him as an example, but that's someone that's not renowned for having a shocker. I think that gets glossed over me. I think keeper could have maybe done better. Whereas because it's Kepa and he's all this, funny business at the minute with Lampard and all that, even though he said he's happy with him, which is blatant lie, innit, I think. I think it's harsh. I think it's such a tricky one because it's one of them where it's just landing under his arm, and that's always a tough one because you can't just it's not rolling on the ground. He can't just stick his arm out prior to the ball. He's got to time it, and it's such an underrated save that it's so hard to do. Getting a hand on it as it's bouncing, and Kepa's not the greatest anyway, so it's a really difficult save that I think. So I think it's harsh.
I'm a bit different to you two. I think he deserved it.
Yeah,
to be honest. I'm
I'm
with you on the Ramsdale one, but I think the Kepa one, I think he should save that. If Port lets that in, I'm disappointed.
Just ask yourself this, Dom. If Kepa does that Ramsdale one, have you got the same views? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I have the same views, yeah.
I think he gets loads of stick for that if Kepa does the same.
So season going back to front, we'll go to Sunday's games. West Brom 0, Leicester 3. Good convincing win that for Leicester, weren't it? 2 penalties. Vardy did the business, didn't he, as he does?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot more to say about that. West Brom.
I thought West Brom were maybe a little bit unlucky. I thought West Brom played actually not too bad. They look from the scoreline, it looks like they've been battered. But on the ball, they actually, because I watched that game, and on the ball, they actually weren't that bad. They played some decent football. And obviously, 2 silly mistakes. Without those penalties, it's a close game. So I think West Brom deserve a little bit of credit despite the scoreline.
Yeah, they've got to cut their mistakes out, though, haven't they, in Premier League? Don't get away with it, do you, usually? One team that did play brilliantly, I thought, anyway, Everton away at Spurs. 1-0 win. I mean, I don't think anyone can argue they deserved all 3 points, didn't they?
Definitely.
What a performance that was, weren't it?
Yeah, and again, it's a team that the midfield was completely different. Alan, he went under the radar. He was sensational that game. Doucouré, Rodriguez again. Some of the balls he were making were sensational. And like I say, Calvert-Lewin, what an header that is. Perfect delivery. I mean, there were question marks on Mourinho. Obviously, that he gained about 10 yards, which when you look back on the replay, he had.
Yeah, I can see why. But you've still got to defend the free kick, can't you?
Exactly that. At the end of the day, it's not like it's from 20 yards outside the box and he's pinged it in. It's a ball in from about 45 yards. So, despite that, like you say, the defenders have got to be doing better. I think it's Eric Dyer that were at fault for that one. And again, it's on top of Everton's sensational performance. It was a very, very poor performance from Tottenham.
I wasn't impressed with Tottenham. So it was slow, weren't it?
Yeah, they just didn't look interested at all. There were no pressing. There were no enthusiasm, no creativity about the game. I mean, the midfield just didn't strike fear into anyone. Højbjerg, Winks, and I can't even remember the Ali, and then Ali came off at half time.
Højbjerg had a rough game.
He did.
Yeah, he did have a rough game, didn't it?
I was like you say, I was really impressed with Everton. I think they were a different team this season because of that midfield. But I don't think Spurs' performance helped. I think that made Everton look so much better than they were. They just had so much time on the ball, didn't they? Rodriguez could just get it, run around me a little bit, play it out wide. And yeah, I thought Spurs were shocking, really. And I kind of expected it this season. I know a few people said they might do well this season, but I think it'll be the same as last season.
Yeah, I do as well. And early prediction, is Mourinho going to last the season?
No.
I don't think he is.
No.
I don't think he'll last.
Especially after watching the documentary.
I think it's too early to say, mate.
Again, it is, but I think...
See, I like Mourinho, me.
I like him, but I just think he's called him lazy as well, and apparently they're not happy about that. So
that's Spurs for me. They're too soft. There's no personality in that team, is there? I think with a lot of teams in the league, I think Mourinho gets a reaction out of what he does. But at Spurs, it's like they just crumble there. It's like, oh, he's calling us shit. You know what I mean? And I think every other team sort of thinks, I'm not having him calling me shit. Yeah. I'm going to go out there and show him. Don't get that vibe from Spurs. It's just everything looks a bit lazy and like they're not playing for the manager. Whereas I think with another team, they maybe get that from Mourinho.
They just don't look like a team. They don't play like a team, do they? They look like they've just got a lot. At times in that game, like they've got 11 randomers together who'd never seen each other before.
Yeah, like you say on paper, the team itself, it's full of very, very good players individually. But the team coherency and, like I say, it's just not there. There's no gelling.
They're a team I always think fancies against all the time. No matter what the situation, I always think, you know what, they could either turn us over or we could get something. Whereas there's a lot of teams I look at now and I think, yeah, no chance. But Spurs are always one. I just always think we could nick something.
Yeah, so definitely we all agree that Everton deserved to win that one, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue. Fulham Arsenal. Arsenal comfortable winners, weren't they? I was shocked actually how comfortable it was. I expected Arsenal to win, but they fair play to them, didn't they? Arteta, we said about Arteta, didn't we? He's getting there, and now he's stamping his style on Arsenal.
Yeah, one player I was very impressed with that you probably all were as well was William.
He was class, weren't he?
Again, exact same as what he was like last season for Chelsea.
Yeah, shouldn't be shocked about that, mate.
No.
I always thought he was class whenever I watched him at Chelsea, but there was mixed opinions, weren't there, on him?
Yeah.
I've always rated him, mate. I think he's brilliant.
Mm.
And obviously showed it against Fulham.
Yeah, and Lacazette scored, didn't he, lads?
Yeah, for anyone who...
For anyone on fantasy football.
Yeah, we are. Let's see.
And if I'm going to clip actually that fantasy football prediction we did where I'm getting laughed at for Lacazette, and maybe an idiot I am, took him out and put. I think McBurney came in off the bench for me because somebody, I don't think Ryan Fraser played or something. So yeah, we'll come on to that, but I weren't best pleased.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Liverpool 4, Leeds 3. Let's say the best till last. What a game that was, weren't it?
Unreal game. Again, two teams that could have been at polar opposite ends of the table, but the style of football they played were very, very similar. And it showed in the game. You know, they're both known for being aggressive, being counter-pressing, you know, the classic gegenpress style football. And like you say, it definitely proved to be that. I was impressed with Leeds, but I was more disappointed with Liverpool. Again, they lacked any sort of defensive shape. Trent Alexander-Arnold had an absolute howler that game.
And Van Dijk as well.
I don't think I've seen a poorer game in terms of two defensive sides there, ever. No. I cannot tell you a game where I've seen as bad defending as that from both teams.
Mm.
It was shocking.
You can sort of make a few excuses for Leeds because they have got, I believe they had...
Sturridge, he were a young defender.
Yeah, they've got a lot of injuries at the back.
He were missing from it.
Yeah, Liverpool shocked me though because they had the usual. Yeah. And Van Dijk were awful, weren't they? Defensively, it was shocking.
Yeah, they all were really at Liverpool. Just shocked me a bit really. Like you said, Trent Arnold probably the worst game he's ever had.
He was poor. And he were lucky, weren't he, with that one where he headed it into...
I was just going to bring that one up then. He were lucky
and it were offside.
Yeah, because again, it wasn't even a hard chance to nod behind or nod to the side.
No, nodded it straight.
Nodded it for some reason into the back of his net.
Yeah. So who would we give... If we had to pick a team, performance of the week in the Premier League, who would you go with?
Newcastle for me.
Yeah, no, I'd say Newcastle.
I think I'd go... Newcastle's fair shout. I think I'd just go Everton though, because I thought they were...
Yeah.
Even though it were only 1-0, I thought they were very impressive. But Newcastle's fair as well. They were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah.
So then we're just a few notable ones in the other leagues. I think in the Championship we have to give it to Reading because none of us expected that, did we? League One, Accrington. I think Aki Stanley, local club to us all, to us three. I think they probably deserve best performance in that league. What a win against Peterborough, weren't it? 2-0 win.
Yeah, that was a shock, I think, for a lot of people obviously that follow League One.
Again,
Accrington are a team that are always dubbed to be in the bottom sides of the table. Even when they were in League Two, they were never, fancied for promotion, apart from a few times when they were up there and didn't make it. But again, they're proving their own in that league. And for a win of 2-0, clear win against a team of strength in regards of Peterborough. Like I said, definitely performance of the week for me in League One.
Yeah, happy for I like seeing Aki doing well.
Yeah.
And then League Two, we have to go with Harrogate, don't we? The new boys.
A no-brainer.
Did you see that goal? Have you seen that goal on Twitter that Southend conceded?
I haven't.
Oh, wait until you look that up afterwards, honestly, lads. It's one of the worst defensive goals you'll ever see in your life. I don't know what he's doing. He just gives it to him, and then he's like complaining with his arm out, and he just puts it straight in. And I can't explain it. It's that bad, but when you see it, You'll know what I mean. Honestly, shocking. Southend. I feel for them because they're another club who they look like they're in big trouble, aren't they? They've lost up most of the team. Issue. They could easily drop out of the league, I think, this season. So then, on to fantasy football. I think we all had decent weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. We've seen people in our
No.
leagues be a lot worse. But yeah, no, it was decent for everyone, I think.
I'm looking at average with 50. I was the lowest out of us three with 61. If Lacazette was in, I would have obviously, I could have been pushing 70, but you two told me to take him out.
Well, I don't recall those words coming out of my mouth, to be honest, Dom.
No, I recall it differently. Very
Few
different.
noises maybe, but yeah, obviously got a goal. Tricky one.
Can I tell you who I had up front instead?
You had 15 goal a season McBurney, didn't you, I think?
I had 15 goal a season McBurney. And I had Morpay.
Ooh.
3 points between them.
Just them two up top, yeah.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson as well. Callum Wilson did the business for me, but yeah, McBurney I can't really argue with because I did a big claim, didn't I, on him?
Yeah. Very good.
And he nearly scored, didn't he? Got an header at the end, nearly went in. But yeah, there's still time for him to get them 15 goals yet. And then apart from that, I think they're too bad. Son let me down. But the rest, Stevens came in, Sheffield United, because I had a few injuries. Pulisic didn't play, did
he? No.
But yeah, Connor Cody in there were a big one for me. I'd say the best, Aubameyang, obviously, captain, 14 points. Wilson and Cody, my best three players. So what about next up? Who won again out of you two? Who won?
That'd be myself. So
it'd be Marcus, 4 points in front of me.
Yeah. So, by the way, I got 61 points, man. I don't know if I mentioned that. 61. So what did you get, James?
So I ended on 72. I think like most people, with Aubameyang, Salah picking up most of those points. Kind of regret. Well, I definitely am regretting not the captain in Salah. I went with Aubameyang. Would have got me like an extra 13 points, I think, if I'd have gone Salah. Having Jamie Vardy paid off with the 2 penalties, 13 points right there. And across the board, the rest of it wasn't great. Justin got me a 9. I think he got an assist for the penalty and a clean sheet, which was good. Art nearly went when Walker Peters got sent off. That were a bit of a panic. Only to see him come back on. So, but yeah, Trent Arnold at the back, 1 point. I'm hoping that's going to be a rare occurrence. McCarthy in goal, obviously against Palace, 2 points for starting. Apart from Salah, Aubameyang and Werner, Vardy, it was a bit dry for me. But
they saved you. You had a good, got a good score there. Really, when I look at the average. And Marcus, you've top spot for this first game week.
To be honest, I'm very surprised. I've been bailed out by Salah extremely. He's had more than 50% of my points this week. If you look around
team.
If you look around the rest of the team, there's only a couple that have got any sort of contribution. Same to you, James, Aubameyang and Justin. Other than that, it's 3s, 2s and 1s. I put Matt Doherty in. Obviously, they had a shocker against Everton, so nothing came from that. Danny Ings, obviously, I were expecting more from him. Hopefully, obviously, he does start to show. Arnold, like yourself, I did go against my better judgment and take Robertson out and put Arnold in.
We were slagging Dom off, weren't we, for the Robertson choice?
We were slagging him off for both Robertson and Van Dijk, and in the end, both of them two have come up with contributions, assisting a goal.
Yeah, Van Dijk, as much as I thought he was crap defensively. He got me 7 points. He scored, didn't he? So.
Traore, I wanted more from him. What Wolves
played right wing back though, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. When I saw the team sheet, obviously,
I nearly cried when I saw that.
Yeah. Souček, obviously, West Ham had a shocker. I put Souček in really because
he's a whiffy choice.
He's good. For me, he's not. Again, if you look towards the back end of last season, he was popping up with a few goals. And to be honest, he had a good chance in the game. He had a good chance from an header in the game.
Yeah. He's a good player, but in that team, I just can't pick a West Ham player at the minute.
I mean, realistically, I did put either Souček or Traore to be replaced with a team that are now going to be playing this week. And like I say, I went for Souček because obviously it's West Ham versus Newcastle, and I banked on at least one of them having some sort of contribution in a game like that. Obviously, nothing happened of that. But yeah, no, I've been really bailed out this week by Salah. Obviously, Werner, similar to yourself, got the penalty but didn't take it. But other than that, nothing really to shout home about.
Any transfers lined up, lads?
Ooh, bit of tinkering.
Now I'm looking at a couple of tinkers, mate.
A couple?
How many points is it for?
It's -4.
It's a 4 deduction.
To go doubles. Obviously, you get 1-3.
I don't think I'll take the double. I might play an early wild card though, depending on how bad things get down the line.
An early wild card if you're talking about it.
Mitrovic.
To get week 1.
I must admit, I'm going to hold off a little bit because I still want to give Mitro a chance, but I'm thinking about getting Bamford in.
After one game?
No, but if you look at his price, he's so cheap, 5.5 million.
Yeah,
and I do fancy him for maybe a goal every other game.
Do you think he's going to be the one to start though when Rodrigo gets integrated?
I mean, Rodrigo came on and gave away a penalty.
He did have a shocker, but obviously that's what I mean. He's not in the Bielsa style of play.
I just think Bamford gets the loyalty with the start. I think for now.
Bielsa's Bamford.
The lads obviously scored at Anfield as well. So I can see Bamford staying in for a bit.
Yeah.
And at that price, I fancy him. I'm more comparing him to Mitro really because he's 6 mil, and I'm saving $0.5 mil there on someone that's probably going to get the same, if not more, goals. I don't think Mitro's worth the extra 0.5. Would I get him more of anyone else? No. It's literally just because I got Mitrovic starting up top with Vardy and Werner. So possibly, Bamford coming in for Mitro for me.
I'm thinking of bringing Chris Wood in. He loves a goal against Leicester, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He scored a lot. He just has a history scoring, and I think we will score at the weekend. So, and I think it'll be Wood. I'm confident Wood will score. I'm confident we'll get some actually at the weekend.
I wish I was. When I was watching Leicester play, I was thinking, I reckon we can have these, me. But I think Maddison's back as well. He came on. I tell you what, we didn't mention him, but I was impressed with that Castagna at right back.
Yeah.
I was tempted to. I don't look at his price, but it's 5.5. So he will not be coming into my team.
Too much.
I had a look mid-game, mate, because I thought if I can get him in before price goes up, it might be worth it. But at 5.5 mil, I can't afford it.
Yeah, and I believe there's only been 2 price rises. Bamford's now 5.6.
Oh, he's gone up.
You want to bring him in? He's gone up. So yeah, a bit of thinking there. And Willian's gone up to 8.1. And that I believe is it. First price rises this week. So both fair enough, aren't they? Bamford scored. People thinking cheap option, and Willian would just run riot, didn't he, on his debut? Fair play to him. So I think we'll leave it there then, lads. This week, we've gone through all that. I'm technically bottom in both leagues because they took me points off me.
There's no technically about it, Dom. You didn't join the league. You're officially on 0.
I'm going to appeal it. So if it's out like Harry Maguire though, we might not hear from the appeal for about another 2 years yet. So yeah, we'll see it go. So yeah, cheers lads again for joining, for coming on. We'll be back obviously again next week with this channel, and we'll see what happens in terms of getting another guest on as well. In the next few weeks. Hopefully people enjoy Peter Ramage. That's still on, obviously on Spotify and YouTube if you want to watch or listen to it. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Nice one.
Cheers.